All right. Oh, you don't have the link? I'll paste it. Extreme chat. It's a great
Oh,
little.
I just noticed.
There's
Just
a lot of
completed that
depth.
mission as I got my 100th hour in Darktide. Nice.
There's many things in this article. So, Fatrarch has killed subclasses, and it is a good thing. What they're doing instead is that instead of having your little talent tree with, you know, the 6 rows and the 3 choices per row, and have that like 3 times per character, what they're doing is they're taking all the feats, all the active abilities, all the blitz abilities, and they're dumping all of that into one giant talent tree per archetype. And they show an example of this. So this is the Zealot one. And as you can see, it is massive. So all you see in the middle, that is all the stuff you got on Preacher. With, of course, I think there's going to be some balance changes with the update.
I
But
don't see it.
the way... But the way it works... Oh shit, I'm stupid.
It's
There
in
we go.
it's in
But the way...
it's in voice text, buddy.
But the way it works... The way
My
this
eyes don't
works...
work.
is that you... Instead of picking one thing per row, which is super limiting, like you look at the talent tree on the vet, and oftentimes you'd think, oh cool, it's time to play Revolver. It's time to play Revolver and be cool with Deadshot and one after another. No, you gotta pick one. Well now, you can pick whatever you want, as long as you got the points to spare. The way this system works is that each of these big columns represents the talent tree of one of the would-be subclasses. But you can pick what you want. You can even cross over to another talent tree you see here when you've got these like horizontal lattices. And so the way this works,
Is this a Path of
30
Exile moment?
you've got 30 levels, which means you've got 30 points, and you can put those 30 points wherever you want. You can if you want to max out this fork, pick both talents there, go for it. If you want to then go back up here, go for it. You can pick whichever grenade you want, which this one on the right is a little throwing knife there. It's going to be real spicy. Whichever active ability you want, and it's going to be crazy. So basically, this does a couple things. First of all, it's finally we have builds in Darktide. We are finally going to be able to make a build. No longer are you going to be looking at a series of choices where very often there is just one obvious correct answer. And now, even assuming they keep the talent trees exactly as they are, and you still take the must pick, you can still take the other thing if you got the points to spare if you want it. Like, hey, you want to take bioptic targeting? You want to invest in that? Well, you no longer have to give up demo team for it. You can take both. And that's good. It's a fantastic change. And that's purely talking from taking the stuff that we already have from the already existing classes. But we've got 3 subclasses worth of talents to pick. That's huge. And all these little nodes there, I think that's just like passive increases to stuff like HP, crit chance, stamina, whatever, toughness. So yeah, that's also going to be pretty big, like for some classes like
Oh my
Psyker
God.
deciding to pump stamina, or like being veteran deciding to like not take toughness to get more points for other stuff. It's huge. When you get to the bottom, they say so, I think it's 20 points if you just go straight down. They are talking blah 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 blah. Yeah, there you go.
They put up anything.
They say you'll hit the bottom before spending all 30 points. But we can just count, actually. We're stupid. If you just rush down, that's 1... I don't know. I think this one's free. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13...
I want recharging Ogren box.
14, 15...
Oh yeah.
16, 17... That's like 18 points to get down to the bottom. Like probably 20 if you go straight down in one class, just to be Preacher. So, yeah. That's huge. And it also solves a really big problem, which is that if they add subclasses, right, you have your veteran and you've got your sharpshooter subclass. If you're going to add a new subclass, you have to make something that is competitive with sharpshooter, but still has like a unique identity. And then you kind of create the problem of like, oh, now we're back to having this horrible talent tree system where the new sharpshooter, like I don't know, the heavy gunner or like the team leader sharpshooter, well, when he's gonna have like a, you know, gonna be able to pick one of each, and that's a bad system. This system is horrible. I've been shitting on this, pooping on this since Vermintide 2. I am very glad that it's finally getting destroyed and obliterated, and the solution that they've come up with, this is great. This is fantastic. This article reveals another thing that we kind of knew, and it's all in the name. I don't think players expect this. Oh, you think? Fetrick.
Because they didn't say anything!
Fetrick, they did more than not say anything. They did way more than not say anything. What Fetrick has done is that they have set people up to be, you know, to be misled, disappointed, because they outright lied at the start. And then they didn't say anything for months. In fact, I can find an article on the Community Hub. I know exactly where to look. It's there. It should be there. Events and announcements. I've done this before. It's one of the first things they posted, which was classes in Darktide. They said that classes are a new thing. And they phrase things like it's going to be a better way to enhance the player experience compared to Vermintide careers. But the way the game launched, we had careers. We only just had one per character. And then they say specifically that they wanted to release one new class every quarter. Now here's where things get a bit kooky, a little bit wacky. Because they say that they've been working on this since before the game came out. Which I need to find. There you go. Development of this skill tree actually started before Darktide launched, but some classes were further along than others. The system just wasn't ready last year. So they knew that they weren't going to stick with the class system, but they shipped anyway, and then they told players that they would be getting new subclasses, and then they said nothing for months. Fetrick, talk to people. I know that when you nerfed Power Cycler, the bottom, you know, let's say the left end of the bell curve got really angry, and you got like a really bad reaction to doing something that was necessary. But you can't let that get in the way of communicating. You've had this problem in Vermintide 2 as well, and it was really nasty and it was really bad. But you've never done like such a massive overhaul. Fetrick, talk to us. If you had shown this image months ago, people would have been so happy to know that you're at least working on something, because the image that you are reflecting to the public is the image of a company that does nothing and does not care and has basically abandoned the product. And people are left wondering.
I thought that like after a time they just moved on to the next game because they didn't say anything. They were just releasing new items in the little cash shop. And like, what the fuck?
And you're giving the impression, you're making people wonder, what is Fetrick doing? Are they too busy working on the Xbox release? Are they doing anything at all? Why are they not saying anything? That's bad. You've got to talk to us. Do it. Also, this thing is going to be broken on launch. And that's fine. That's to be expected. It's an extremely complex system with a lot of a lot of possibilities for stuff to be broken, which is all right.
Silly.
You gotta stick with this and actually fix it, because as a Vermintide 2 player, I know that Fetrick does not have a great history with actually reworking stuff. The one really big outlier was Sister of the Thorn, which got a really pleasant rework. But if you look at like the talent trees that they made with Winds of Magic, they've never touched these like stagger damage talents. Like just some classes arbitrarily do not have Smiter, some classes arbitrarily do not have Health on Cleave, and they never really looked at that. So I hope that this doesn't just get dropped and abandoned. And also it leaves something, you know, for the future. Like I hope that rather than expand this skill tree, which they could do, like add a fourth column to this, they could just make a whole new archetype. People have been crying desperately for like an anime character, you know, you could do that, and you've got your 3 little subclasses there. But anyway, that's for the future. It's huge. This update is so massive. It's I just even if they just did this and kept the current talent tree, it would be a massive improvement over what we have currently. But yeah, we're getting 2 extra skill trees, and that's big. That's really huge. I'm very happy about these news. Fat Shark, you've got to talk to your community. You can't stay completely in silence, doing things and expecting the public reaction to be good. You could have been teasing this. You could have been explaining this. You could have clarified stuff. People don't like being lied to, and they don't like being left in the dark. And you've done both, and that's no bueno. But this update is going to be huge, and I can't wait to see what it's like. And I think you should do multiple rounds of beta testing. Open up a beta on Steam, get as many people as possible to test this stuff, because it is going to be broken, and the only way for you to figure out that it is broken is for people to break it. And I think that's it. It's a fantastic update. I really like what I'm seeing.
Honestly, I can't wait, because it looks like the sort of thing that's gonna be fun, but like on release, yeah, it's just gonna be brick it.
Oh yeah, and also these you can see some stuff here that's a bit worrying, because this looks like stealth. This looks like a smoke bomb. Please don't put stealth back in the game.
Oh, you mean the freaking the BRAP
fart bomb,
skill
yeah.
that they showed off? Yeah.
This
But they've got
really
a
old ranger trick.
But they've got some exciting stuff there. They've got you know, Psyker. There's some stuff that we've known for a while, like the throwing knives, because it was in the code for so long. Psyker's gonna get a little shield he can drop. He's also gonna get like some floating shards that home in on stuff. He's gonna get like a lightning ability instead of a brain burst. The Ogryn, that's the big one. The Ogryn can choose a big, literally a rock, a big friendly rock that has a cooldown, and also a gigantic grenade. He also gets a taunt now that he can choose instead of his charge. I can't wait for this update to come out.
Gigantic grenade, dude. More Grim Bomb.
Oh yeah. The ability to be able to actually make a build and like do what you want and like spec into cool stuff is game changing. The fact that you can now pick everything you want, you can pick anything you want. The only limitation is that you can pick only 1 action skill and 1 grenade. Everything else, as long as you've got the points for it, go crazy. That's huge. That's an immense change. And I'd like to commend Fat Shark on figuring out an extremely clever way to go around the limitations of the subclass system that they had for the last game. Some really gifted game designers thought this up. And then some really incompetent game makers shipped a game without it and then didn't tell anyone for months that this was in it. So please, talk to us. We love you, Fat Shark. Talk to us. I swear to God, talk to us. Please, thank you. That's it. Alright.